The Financial Times says, because this is the other side of that equation, Pfizer and Moderna are to raise the price of their COVID vaccines within the EU, and one imagines that'll eventually go elsewhere. Moderna's goes up $3 to $25 a dose. Pfizer up almost $5 to $23 a dose. And Pfizer was always the more expensive, or at least the more difficult to negotiate with. What this means, of course, is the economics, the law, the 101 law of supply and demand. As demand goes up, so does the price. There are the fear of the variants, so more people want the vaccine. There are concerns with rival products, AstraZeneca and J&J, rare blood clots, lower efficacy. Therefore, the mRNA ones, Pfizer and Moderna, demand goes up, price goes up. The new prospect of booster shots, you have just heard us talking about it. Countries will need more product than expected. So demand goes up, supply goes up. It's as straightforward as that. However, we are talking public health here, and we are talking about a vaccine in scarce supply. Jeffrey Sachs is the professor and director of the Center for Sustainable Development at Columbia University, the chair of the Lancet COVID-19 Commission. Let's split this into two first, Professor, if we may. This issue of booster shots will create more demand in developed world for existing supplies. Now, even though supplies are going to be coming on stream in developing world, do you fear that has a knock-on effect?
We still do not have a global plan for extending vaccine coverage to the developing countries. It's really unbelievable that the vaccine-producing countries, the United States, UK, European Union, China, India, Russia, have not sat around the table and presented a transparent plan for how billions of people that have no access are going to get access. In Africa, the proportion of population that is fully vaccinated, under 2%. Right. It's unbelievable.
And if
so
Germany...
now the boosters are coming, and as you've been saying, this will exacerbate the inequalities. But most stunningly, there is no planning taking place to rectify this situation. No systematic approach to increase the supplies. No decisions on allocation. The rich countries decide we'll do more boosters. We'll use them as we see fit, without any sense of responsibility whatsoever to the rest of the world, and without any apparent awareness that the reason we get variants, whether it's Delta or Gamma or others that are going to come, is that there are vast unvaccinated populations, and this virus is mutating.
The question of raising the price. Now, some manufacturers, Moderna and the like, they had taken R&D money from either the government in the US or in the EU. Therefore, they were bound by certain rules. But those rules seem to be coming off now with the boosters. Do you think, is it right or fair, do you think, that they basically say, well, we are a for-profit organization, and therefore we should be entitled to charge more for this vaccine?
It's absurd, of course. Government paid for these vaccines. What has happened is that these companies have created billionaires. It's estimated roughly a dozen people have become billionaires during this period for money that was paid for by the National Institutes of Health on intellectual property that is co-owned by the National Institutes of Health. It is shambolic, I would say, that the US and other governments just hand over tens of billions of dollars to companies that were the recipients of public funds for this developing this vaccine. None of it makes sense, actually,
but
or
Jeffrey,
it makes sense in a very perverse way.
But Jeffrey, at what point do you think that the Modernas and J&Js and particularly Pfizer's of this world are entitled to say we are private for-profit companies, we've done our bit, we produced the billions of vaccines that we said we would for those countries that wanted them, and we have given to COVAX, and we've done all of that. Now we're going to make some more money for our shareholders.
Well, they're entitled to say that, of course. And governments are entitled to say, we paid for it, we are co-owners of the property rights, and you're going to do no such thing. So the companies, of course, are going to say this. Moderna was worth on the market $19 billion on January 1, 2020. It's now $140 billion. Well, that is money that was invested by the National Institutes of Health. That is research from University of Pennsylvania. That is patents that are co-owned by the U.S. government. So they can say whatever they want, but where are our governments that are defending the common interest? They're nowhere to be seen.
Would you be in favor of, and this will obviously not just be in the US, because we're talking here about price rises, I'm guessing for the very reasons you've just said, Pfizer and Moderna haven't announced price rises in the US for that reason. But if you take the EU, which paid for it in different ways by guaranteeing certain production levels in any way, would you say that they should legislate? Would you say that they should do something, even though it would smack of interfering in the free market?
There is no free market here. This is public funding for intellectual property. There are patents. This is not a marketplace. This is a designated monopoly based on public funding to develop intellectual property. So there's no free market here at all. What there is an amazing lack of responsibility of our governments.
Jeffrey,
And I would start with the U.S. government, by the way, which funded this core research and did think ahead in a way that's completely inappropriate, or failed to think ahead, that if you give the monopoly rights over to two companies that are based on this knowledge that you have paid for, well, of course they're going to rise in value by tens or hundreds of billions of dollars, but at the cost of society.
Jeffrey, Professor Jeffrey Sachs, I should say, thank you. Good to see you, sir, as always.
Great to be with you.